This is a story people have been telling for 40,000 years, or 50, depending on who you ask. And it's a story that has been 13.7 billion years in the making. And we're still making it. And even after all of our DNA is gone, something will still be making it. When you think of nothing, it is relative to something. To imagine space is to imagine a point between points. But before there were points, and before there was a space, there wasn't anything. And then in the space of time, faster than 1 second, faster than a second, there was everything. There was all of the energy which exists, bursting forward into existence. All of the energy that exists. There will never be more, and there will never be less. During the great expansion of everything, things were drawn together by their own energy. Things were drawn together. There was less than particles. There was less than nothing. And then there was one atom. One atom became many and created all of the things that are right now. All of these atoms were dust, and all of the dust became stars. And right after there were stars that were destroyed. From that energy, from that destruction, is matter. The iron in our blood is stardust. It's not from this planet. But the energy in this planet, made of heat and gas, is from those stars. From this debris came a molten liquid world that looks nothing like this one now. But it was this one. It was soft, and it cooled, and got hard. 4.5 billion years ago, approximately, an object, something like an asteroid, struck the Earth. And that object was absorbed by the Earth. And the debris from that event swirled around the Earth. The pieces of the Earth and the object came together, spinning, and spins now. It spins above us. It spins around itself. That thing is the moon. It's not circling us, it's circling itself. It's trying to bring itself back together. Its pull on us created the magnetic field, which protects us from the radiation of the sun. If it was any closer or any further away, everything would be different. But it isn't. because of that magnetic field, all of the vapor contained within it created the atmosphere and rained down upon the cool earth. And that gave us the oceans. In a period of unimaginable tranquility and chaos came the oceans. Came all of the water that exists and will exist, raining down and collecting, and raining down and collecting. Hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, nitrogen. These things are from this place and the stars, and the thing that hit this place, which still circles around us. And those things with heat, those things with pressure made. Bacteria. Our first ancestors. The ancestors of the first atom and this first expansion of energy. And from that energy, one bacteria split and made two. And those two bacteria made four. And those four made a billion. And a billion. And a billion again. And numbers and generations none of us can fathom. And forms none of us will ever know. It's a fact of the universe that when energy and matter collect, that energy and matter becomes complex. These things are still with us, contained within us, and around us, and in all of the things that we can perceive. They've been found in the deepest oceans and high into the air. Without them, there would be none of us. But without us, they will endure. They were here with us and before us, and they'll be here after us. From bacteria, there were fish. The bony fish. There were the fish that had spines. There was a thing to keep them together. A calcification, which is the basis for all animals with spines, with nervous systems, with brains. From our ancestors of fish, who are still with us, who have allowed us to endure. The bacteria and the fish stayed in the water, unable to leave, able to harness the radiation of the sun, but not able to leave. From that time, the first amphibians emerged. Could reach their heads from above the water. And from above the water, 2.5 billion years ago, they began a ritual, which we are still doing today. The ritual of breath. chemical process which allows us to exist. From bacteria to bony fish, from fish to amphibians, to the first land reptiles. The first land reptiles laid eggs and kept the ocean contained. In that liquid, life was able to form again. Miles from the earth, miles from the ocean, hundreds, thousands. The story of the universe, the story of existence, is a story of extinction and rebirth. For a span of 160 million years, there were dinosaurs. And during that time, we existed. The first mammals existed as small shrews, like rats, almost as big as cats. And those things cowered before the dinosaurs. Their fur could not protect them from the footfalls of those terrible lizards. And then more objects hit the earth. And from those objects blew more dust, like the way the moon was formed. And that dust, which was part of us, and that dust, which is part of the moon, which is part of the sun, which is part of the first energy in the universe, formed into the first primates. And the first primates had 5 fingers and could reach. And they stood on their 2 legs. And this left their hands free to reach. This left their hands free to reach. It left our hands free to reach. From the first energy in the first expansion to the first beings made of minerals, made of elements, made of atoms from space, from who knows where, these things reached. And all around them, and their food, and beneath them, was the basis of all the things we use now. And that thing was crystalline silicon. And from that, we made our first tools. We broke these things, and we made new things. And we carried them with us. And we still carry them with us. We are primates who reach. We are primates who make noise. We are primates who shape everything. We're still reaching. We're still expanding. And that is who we are. And that is where we came from. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.